Hi everybody, it's Emma from Bookmarks and Brush Pens and welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is having a good week. I am having an excellent week because it is my spring break. It's unfortunately coming to a close today, but I've had a really good time at the writer's retreat where I'm staying, and I'm really happy that I had this week here. So today I am actually filming outside. It is a beautiful day and I didn't want to disturb any of the other writers in the house, so I figured I'll go outside with my camera. Unfortunately, it is a little bit windy, which you have probably noticed at this point, so hopefully it won't affect the sound too much, and if you don't mind my hair blowing around, we should be able to get through this video just fine. Yep, there it goes. Alright, so today's video is going to be a journal flip through. This is my current journal, Maggie. I have about 10 pages left, so I figured today would be as good a time as any to do a quick flip through. The first thing I have to... That's a car going by. The first thing I have to mention is this beautiful leather cover that I got from Leo at Huicho Leatherworks. He does covers for A5 notebooks, some other size notebooks. He also does wallets and other similar things. I will put the link to his Etsy shop in the description because I think he does absolutely beautiful work. This cover is beautiful and sturdy but simple and elegant in its design. I love it so much, and I will probably do an entire video on it at some point, so if you are interested in that, be sure to be looking out for that. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so one of the things that I love about this cover is that it allows me to use the elastic of the notebook that's inside the cover, and it's just long enough that I can slip a pen in between the elastic and the book, and it holds in there very nicely. So this is the pen that I am currently using, my vintage Parker 51 Special that I got at the Baltimore Pen Show. I've been wanting a Parker 51 for a while, and the Special makes it a little cheaper because it's a steel nib instead of a gold nib. It is a hooded nib. This is a very classic, let me see if I can get it to focus there. This is a very classic fountain pen, and one that I wanted to have in my collection for a while, and I'm very glad that I bought it. Alright, so let's get into the journal. Alright, so I just bend the elastic around to the other side of the notebook when I'm writing. Let me open it up here. Alright, so this is the table of contents in the Leuchtturm 1917, which is my preferred brand of notebook for my journal. In my last journal, I actually put the date of every entry and what page it was on, but I decided to skip that for this one. Don't know why, I guess I didn't feel like doing it. Whoop, that's coming apart, so I'm gonna have to retape that. So, I started this journal on my birthday, actually, on August 10th, which was a coincidence, but kind of a happy one. And the way I've been starting a lot of my journals recently is by making a currently card. So it has some of the things I am currently reading, hearing, watching, thinking, so just a little snapshot of what's going on in my life when I start that new journal. I think these are pretty cool. I think I got these library cards at Tuesday morning. Alright, so we'll put that back in there and refocus a little bit. Okay, so there is a lot of just writing in this journal, I won't lie. I had a lot of things on my mind when I first started this and throughout the time that I have had it. All of this writing here was done with my Sailor Progear Slim in extra fine with Diatramentis pine green ink. Let me see if I can dig out my Sailor, because whoops! Like I said, it is a little bit windy, so where were we? Probably about right here. So this is my Sailor Progear Slim in extra fine. I got this at the DC Pen Show, and it is one of my favorite pens that I've added to my collection. It's a really smooth writer and just a really classic and beautiful pen. And of course it's green, because I love green and gold. Alright, so moving on. So then this is still the Sailor Progear Slim, but I have switched to Pilot Iroshizuku Chiku Rin ink. Normally I don't go for lighter green inks, but I thought this shade was really beautiful, so I went ahead and got it, and I love it. So I'm really pleased that I did end up purchasing it. I believe I got this ink at the Atlanta Pen Show. So here we start with some more stuff than just writing. These are some quotations that I put in. It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. J.K. Rowling, this is one of my favorite quotes, and I sort of refer to it a lot when I'm really struggling with the fear of failing. And then this is... happiness is not something that you have to achieve. You can still feel happy during the process of achieving something, which is Kim Namjoon, or better known as RM from BTS. It's true, I'm a total BTS fangirl, so yeah, of course I'm going to quote one of their members. Alright, so we have more writing. Let's see, this is some prompts by @JournalingJunkie on Tumblr, which is one of the main sources for my prompts. So I decided to start keeping my prompts in my journal, so I just wrote them down and put them in a little envelope. Alright, so more writing. Whoop. I'm trying to keep the pages from not flipping in the wind and then actually flipping when I want them to. Alright, so I'm changing inks here. This is, I believe, Diamine Ancient Copper. Yes, these are just some pictures of me and my siblings from a trip that we went on. This was actually when we were dropping off my brother in San Francisco. He lives in San Francisco now. So these are some pictures from our trip. All right. Continuing on, more ancient copper, more writing. So this is some embossed calligraphy. So it'll have a bit of a shine there depending on the way that you hold it. I believe this prompt was, what are your biggest fears? And mine are two words that I'm not even going to try to pronounce at the moment, but they are the fear of failure and the fear of imperfection or not being good enough. And more writing. Like I said, there's a lot of writing. This was just a note I wrote to myself. This I was trying to do sort of a scrapbook style layout. My mother and my sister both have birthdays in September, so these are just some pictures of me with them. Then, this is the color that I painted my room. My mom very kindly agreed to help me paint my room, and I picked out this green color, which I believe is called Antique Green or Antique Olive, but I really liked the way it turned out. And then this was a tribute to one of my favorite Tumblr accounts, Tea Coffee Books, which I just added the and so that it would do a little better spacing-wise, but you should check their Tumblr out if you get the chance. It's very aesthetic and very inspirational if you're a reader or writer like me. Okay, so this is a promise that I made to myself. I just wrote it down on a piece of paper and put it in here so I wouldn't forget it. I'm sure I did anyway, but there you go. These are some lyrics from Waitlist by All Time Low. They were really helpful to me around this time, so I put them in my journal. You can see where a little bit of water got into my journal because the ink smeared. These are just some leaf stamps. We were getting into October and autumn, so I was really excited for the leaves to start turning. That's one of my favorite things about fall. See, these are some more prompts for October. Nature always wears the color of the spirit is one of my best friend's favorite quotations, and I put it in here because it was really speaking to me at the time too. I've got a leaf in here from my yard, a pumpkin. To be honest, I don't love the way this spread turned out because I don't particularly like the orange of the pumpkin against the rest of the page, but I do like the leaf, and you know, what's done is done. So these were my October goals. I don't think I got any of them done. Yeah, such is life. Ooh, that's a lot of wind. Okay, so moving on. This quotation and picture are from when my mother and I went on a women's retreat. This was a quotation that I pulled out of a hat, and I thought it really spoke to me and my situation, which was lucky. And then on the retreat grounds, there was this beautiful forest and labyrinth that you could walk in, and this is sort of the entrance to it, and I thought that was really pretty, so I put that in there. Alright, so we continue to move through October, and then this is when I got to go and visit my best friend in North Carolina. So these are some pictures of us from that weekend. My best friend's name is Z. Ashley. She runs Chatoyant Quill. You should definitely check out her blog and videos if you get the chance. So some more pictures of us. You can tell when I was taking a picture of this page it started raining because I've got a couple raindrops on there. I think it gives it character. So this is when I went to a movie with my friends, Miyazaki Monday. We saw Porco Rosso, which is a Miyazaki I hadn't seen before, and I really liked it. More writing. And then this is just something I was thinking about at the time. What is so bad about failure? I can always try again. And that's something I have to remind myself of quite frequently. Whoops, sorry, I'm trying to keep the camera steady, but I'm having a little trouble. All right, so this is the Poirot Collection. So I was in Black Coffee by Agatha Christie. I was playing Barbara. And I decided for some character research and just sort of to get into the feel of the Poirot era, I would reread all of the Poirot books by Agatha Christie. Clearly, I didn't do too well with that, although I have actually read a lot more than I checked off, but I definitely didn't finish the entire collection, but I will at some point. And I have read most of them before, so I still felt like I did a pretty good job with being in character in that show. Nerdy things and why I love them, that's pretty self-explanatory, I think. This is when Ash came up to see me in the play, so I just put that little lettering in. So we're going for a pretty drastic ink change here. This was election day. This is Diamine Atlantic Blue, and I wrote this with my Kara's Custom Fountain K in olive. I really like this pen. I bought this pen at the Atlanta pen show, and then I had the nib ground down because even the extra fine was just a little bit too wide for me because it's a German-made nib. And then I smoothed it out myself a little bit, and now it's a great writer, a very fine line. It is a little bit scratchy, but since I've always written with extra fine and fine pens, I'm kind of used to a little bit scratchy. And then these are just some pictures of my weekend with Ash. More writing. Let's see, I think these are more prompts. Yes, so these are the November prompts. Some illustrations. I did not draw these myself. I copied these from some of my favorite coloring books and then just went over them with the ink I was using. This is Pilot Iroshizuku, not Chikurin. I honestly do not know how to pronounce this. Fuyu Soigun. It means Old Man Winter, loosely. I think it's a really beautiful color, and it kind of reminds me of winter. 10 things I'm thankful for. This was Thanksgiving. I typed this up on my typewriter and then put it in my journal because I liked it. And then this was sort of the beginning of the Christmas season, and I love Christmas and the whole Christmas season. And this is when I was finally brave enough to break out my Winsor & Newton watercolors and do some lettering with them. So I really liked the way that turned out. The Spellcaster, this was actually done with metallic watercolors, and I like the way it turned out too. The Spellcaster is a fictional comic book character of mine that I enjoy kind of playing around with and developing the story for. I'm really great at developing backstories for characters, but not great at coming up with the actual ideas for their stories. You know, what happens to them in the present day. So that's kind of a problem if you want to be a writer. But there you go. Yeah, Spellcaster Sophia Ashbourne. She's one of my favorite characters that I've come up with. This is a poem I wrote about winter that I typed on my typewriter again and put in my journal. These are the December journaling prompts. The prompt for this was, do you like to give or receive gifts? And I love to give people gifts. It's one of my favorite things to do, so I put a couple of presents in there. This ink color is Noodler's Army Green, and normally if I'm writing with Army Green, I'm using my Platinum Balance. You can see I refilled it here, and it takes a little bit to adjust to the new ink. So this is when my family went to San Francisco for Christmas to visit my brother. My brother dances with the San Francisco Ballet Company, so we went to see the Nutcracker. This is when I went to visit Muji. I love Muji. I got a lot of stationery stuff, and I stamped a lot of the stationery stuff with the stamps that they have available there. I went a little crazy with them and ended up stamping out me and my best friend's names, so I put that in there as well. We went to Sausalito one of the days, so I got this sticker there, and then this was Christmas Day, so a little bit of Christmas lettering. This was towards the end of the vacation. I just put this little pocket in, and then some of the things that I'd collected over the visit. A couple bookstores we went to, a couple stores in Japantown. This is Kinokuniya bookstore, the ferry ticket, so just some little memorabilia kind of things. And then the beginning of the new year, 2018, and these are my New Year's resolutions, which I just wrote out and then put in an envelope here. I should probably go over those and see how I'm doing. But maybe if I leave them as a mystery, I won't remember that I'm not doing too well. Alright, so this is a new ink and a new pen. This is my Lamy All-Star with a 1.1 stub nib, and this is Sailor Shikiori Waka Yagisu, is I believe how you pronounce it. It's one of their Four Seasons inks. I think it's really beautiful, and it's kind of an in-between shade of green that I didn't have, even though I have a lot of greens, so I was very pleased with this, and I like the way it writes in the 1.1 stub. This is the business card of a vintage antique store where I got my train case that I use as my writing case, and I love it, so I put their business card in there. More writing. Whoop. Okay, so this is when I met a couple that I now play board games with every Saturday morning. Mark and Kay are a very sweet couple, and I met them one morning at a local cafe, and they were playing, and they asked if I wanted to join, and now we play games together regularly, so I thought I would put this in to mark the beginning of a new friendship. This is when my brother came into town for New Year's, so he and my sister and I went to see Jumanji, which was hilarious. I went to the post office to mail something to Ash, and I saw these stamps and loved them. They are forever stamps celebrating the gifts of trees to and from Japan, and I thought they were so pretty that I basically wasted a stamp by putting it in there, but I think it's lovely. So then I switched pens again. And this is actually the same ink. I think I just switched pens in the middle of it, and one of them writes a little lighter than the other one did. I just liked this house, so I put it in my journal. I think if I am ever lucky enough to own a house, I think I would like to restore a Victorian, and it's green, and I love green. Namjoon from BTS. He's my bias. I love him, so I put him in there. This is a picture I took in San Francisco, and I just kind of liked it, so I thought I would put it in there and have it as an idea of sort of the person that I wanted to be. National Handwriting Day. Not totally pleased with this. I think I could have done something a lot better, but I was pretty rushed that day, so this is what I did. We just got some washi tape. This is my favorite shelf. I'm not sure why I put this photo in there. I think I just kind of liked it. I do that with a lot of photos. I just sort of like them, so I put them in my journal. This is actually one of my favorite pages. This is from another series of prompts that I have, a jar of journal prompts, and it says, if you were an animal, what animal would you be? I would like to say I would be an owl because they are my favorite animals, but I feel like I'm more like a sloth. But I'm pretty pleased with the way these turned out because I'm not much of a watercolor person. I'm still learning, so I'm pretty pleased with this. It's one of my favorites in this journal, to be honest. Alright, so more, whoops. So this is the beginning of February, which is International Correspondence Month. So I started it with a letter to myself, which I then put in here. These are the February journaling prompts. These pictures are from my favorite magazine, Artful Blogging. It's my goal to eventually start my own website and blog, and these are some of the pictures that I found inspiring. I believe this is Monologue, who does vintage travel photography around the UK. So this is just another picture of me pointing a camera at the mirror. I guess I just like that style. And then Namjoon again in glasses because that is my weakness. This is the local board game store. One-Eyed Jacks and I had just gone to buy a couple games because I was really getting into games, playing with Mark and Kay, like I said, so I put the business card in there. This collage was for my favorite colors, which are green and then shades of brown and gold. I really like this collage. It actually ended up being one of my favorite pages in this journal, just because I think I'm not good at collages, and this turned out pretty well, so I was pretty pleased with myself. And then this is when I went to visit my best friend Ash for her birthday. So she lives in North Carolina, so this is just some flight information, a little bit of lettering for her birthday. Her birthday night we got kind of drunk on Not Your Mom's iced tea. That was fun. We were both of age, so there you go. We went shopping together and we found the BTS album in a store in the mall and both freaked out and immediately bought it. This is me and my best friend Ash, and these are some more pictures and the photo card that came in the album. Let's see. This is Ash again. Isn't she pretty? This is one of the birthday presents that I bought for Ash, a little fern creature whose name is Habin. And this was made by the Beast Peddler on Etsy. Check her out if you like this style because she is very good. This is a Friend of the Farm sticker, is a sticker from Farm Bureau of Virginia, which is actually the company where my dad works and where I shadowed in the marketing department to see if I like marketing, and now I am going to school for marketing, so I guess you can say it was pretty successful. So we have another ink switch and more writing. Oh, this ink right here is Diamine Oxblood. And then we went back to the Sailor ink. More writing. Okay, so this is when I went to the Baltimore Pen Show and I picked up my first Franklin Christophe pen, which I'm going to show you. It is a Model 66 in green with a number 6 steel needlepoint nib. Let's see. There you go. It's a much bigger nib and a bigger pen than I'm used to, but I thought, I want to add some variety to my collection, so why not? I think it's beautiful and it writes wonderfully, so I'm very pleased to have it. And this is Franklin Christophe Honeycomb ink that I used for these next couple of pages. All right. And then this is actually the first time that I used my Parker 51, which I also bought at the Baltimore Pen Show. You can see that I hadn't worked on smoothing out the nib yet, so it's a little drier, but this is Diamine Ancient Copper. The March journaling prompts I did with the ink that I picked up at the Baltimore Pen Show, Platinum Classic Citrus Black, which is an ink that goes on as a very light yellow and then oxidizes into this beautiful black green. It took me a couple of tries to figure out how to use it, but once I figured it out, I just thought it was and is such a beautiful color, so I'm really glad that I picked it up. And then, let's see, I believe this is some more honeycomb in my Franklin Christophe, and then I ran out of ink, so I had to change inks in the middle of the page, but it ended up being just similar enough that doesn't really bother me. This is the Platinum Citrus Black in my Pilot E95S. I use that pen because it's a gold nib pen, and Citrus Black is an iron gall ink, but it probably won't do any damage to a gold nib pen. So, and you can see I wrote for several days with this ink and this pen because I thought it's just such a beautiful combination. I was revamping my bullet journal around this time, and this is one of my inspiration pictures for it. My bullet journal is currently in an A5 Muji binder, so I put the tag in there. My sister went to New York and went to the Line Friend store where they were selling BT21 merchandise, and she brought me back a little Koya bag chain, and I just think it is the absolute cutest thing, so I put the tag for it in here. This day, we had a snow day and my sister got off school and I got off work, so we decided to have a Pride and Prejudice marathon and watched the entire 1995 miniseries and the 2005 movie. And then this is me and my sister. I took this Polaroid with my new Polaroid, I believe it's called a one-touch camera. I do have a Fujifilm Instax printer, but I also wanted sort of an instant camera, and I liked the difference between the Polaroid and the Instax. Whoop! I just nudged the camera, didn't I? So I decided to get one of both and got a Polaroid camera. This was for the prompt was, do you have any advice about handwriting? And I do. It's practice. Practice as much as possible, because the more you write, the neater your handwriting will become. The only reason my handwriting is anywhere near as neat as it is because I've written by hand for a very long time, and this is sort of naturally how my handwriting has turned out. So now we're getting closer to right now. This is, again, my Parker 51 with Diamine Ancient Copper, and you can tell that I managed to smooth it out a little bit, so it's a little less dry. This is a note that Leo sent me with my cover, and I thought it was really sweet, so I went ahead and put it in my journal. This is some writing, the April journal prompts. I kind of stole my bullet journal theme of black and gold and ancient copper calligraphy lettering for these prompts. This is me and my sister and my mother at a little coffee shop we visited. My sister and I did a vintage photo shoot, and I themed mine sort of vaguely 50s-ish because I have my train case and a vintage suitcase and that really nice dress. So my sister did a photo shoot with me, and I was really pleased with how it turned out. I don't take very good pictures of myself, but she takes pretty good pictures of me, so there's that. And then this was actually just yesterday. I just got my hair done and I really loved it, so I went outside, found some good lighting, took a selfie, and threw the picture in here. And this is my Koya sweatshirt that I love, so I was killing two birds with one stone by putting two new things in one picture. And then this is today. This is a quotation that I have for today. I hated every minute of training, but I said don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's Muhammad Ali. And this is the writing that I was doing this morning. There's a little bit of a smudge, but that's okay. And like I said, I only have a couple of pages left, so I will be moving into a new journal soon. But this is Maggie, and she has served me very well. And overall, I really like this journal. I think I did a lot of growth during the time that I had a lot of personal growth, I guess I should say, during the time I was keeping this journal, and I know journaling was really helping me with that. So I'm very pleased to add this one to my collection of finished journals, and I will be putting my new journal in this cover because I love it. So that is pretty much it as far as the flip through. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have not seen my most recent video, which is what's in my pen case and daily journaling supplies, please be sure to check that one out. And leave in the comments what you would like me to do for my next video. I do still have my fountain pen video in the works. It's just taking a lot longer to edit than I thought it would. I'm not very good at editing yet. It's something I'm working on, but it will be coming. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.